Hello everyone, welcome to our class. My name is Ko-Chen Lee. In today's sections, we will talk about Internet Information Services, IIS. In Windows Server 2008, Microsoft introduced the Internet Information Services, IIS 7.0. A major architectural update to its web and application server platform. Since then, as anticipated, the IIS development team has been working on a variety of enhancements of its extensions that build on that new architecture. Now, Microsoft introduces IIS 7.5. Although based on the same basic structures as IIS 7.0. This new version includes numerous new features and refinements. IIS 7.5 also adds 3 new role services as follows. First, Web DAV publishing enables users to publish content to IIS websites interactively and securely. Second, FTP server enables users to transfer files to and from an IIS server and perform basic file management tasks. 3. IIS hostable web core enable developers to integrate IIS request handling functionalities into their own applications. Web DAV publishing and FTP server will both add-on products for IIS 7.0. The administrators had to download and install separately. The Microsoft Web Platform is an integrated set of servers and tools that enable you to deploy complete web solutions, including applications and ancillary servers with a single procedure. The Microsoft Web Platform Installer is a tool that enables you to select, download, install, and configure the features you want to deploy on your web server. The Web Deployment Tools, formerly called MS Deploy, is an IIS extension that enables administrators to package entire websites, web servers, and applications for deployment on other computers, or just for backup purpose. Packages include all website's contents, including configuration settings, permissions, databases, and certificates. When you run the web deployment tool offline, it adds a Manage Packages section to the Actions pane of the Internet Information Services Manager console, as shown in figures. So selecting a server, a site, or applications, and clicking Export Applications launches a wizard in which you can select the elements that you want to export. As shown in figure, the wizard then creates a package in the form of a zip file, which contains the original content plus configuration settings in extensible markup language XML format. A number of web services that were previously available as separate downloads are now integrated into IIS, as described in the following sections. After installing the role services, you create an authoring rules that specifies what contents you want to be able to publish at which users can publish it using the interface shown in figures. Then, using the features called the web DAV redirectors on the client computers, and you map a drive to your website, copying files to that drive automatically publishes them on the website. The web DAV implementation is fully integrated in the IIS 7.5 architectures and supports the following features. First, standard compliance. The web DAV implementations in the IIS 7.5 is fully compliant with the request for comments RFC 4918 standard published by the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF. Second, site level support. Unlike earlier versions, you can now enable web DAV publishing at this site level instead of on the entire server. Third, support for HTTP over SSL. This enables clients to publish documents securely by encrypting transmissions using the Secure Socket Layer (SSL) protocol. Fourth, support for logs. The web DAV in IIS 7.5 supports both shared and exclusive logs to prevent loss updates due to overrides. Fifth, per URL authoring rules. This enables administrators to specify web DAV security settings for individual uniform resource locators URLs. This provides the ability to create different sets of security parameters for standard HTTP requests and web DAV authoring. And administrators could create and manage FTP sites using the current Internet Information Services Manager console. And the service also includes new features such as the following. First, FTP over Secure Socket Layers, SSL, enables the FTP server to establish secure connections using password protections and SSL data encryption. Second, combined FTP and web hosting. Enables a single IIS site to support both HTTP and FTP connections. Third, virtual host naming. Enables a single IIS server to host multiple FTP sites using a single IP address and port numbers, distinguishing between the sites by using host names, just as it can with websites. Fourth, improved login and error handling. IIS log files include additional fields for FTP connections, and IIS can generate detailed errors messages for clients on the local network. And the IIS 7.5 implementation includes some major enhancements in its application's hosting capabilities as described in the following sections. And one of the most significant improvements in IIS 7.5 is that it now supports ASP.NET applications on computers running the server core installation of Windows. Server core is a stripped-down version of the Windows Server operating system that eliminates many roles and features and most of the graphical interface. One of the features now available in Windows Server 2008 Server Core is Microsoft.NET Framework, and IIS requires this feature to support ASP.NET. because ASP.NET is one of the most commonly used development environments for web application today. And this was a major shortcoming. IIS 7.5 includes a number of enhancements to its fast CGI support, including the following. First, fast CGI configurations in IIS managers. The graphical fast CGI administration interface, previously available only in administration pack for IIS 7.0, is now fully integrated into the Internet Information Services Manager console. Second, real-time tuning. In the added fast CGI application dialog box, the max instance property specifies the maximum number of fast CGI processes that IIS can launch for each application pool. The default value is 4, but in IIS 7.5, if you change the value to 0, the fast CGI module automatically shifts the number of requests up and down based on the current system load and the number of queried requests. Third, configuration file monitoring. In the added fast CGI application dialog box, the monitor changes to file property enables you to specify the path to a configuration file, such as php.ini, for each application. When IIS 7.5 detects a change to the specified file, it recycles the fast CGI processes for the application. Fourth, new error handling options. IIS 7.5 now provides a choice of 4 fast CGI error handling options, which you can configure in the added fast CGI application dialog box using the standard error mode property. These options enable you to specify what error information IIS logs and how much of it gets returned to users. Fifth, failed request tracing. In IIS 7.5, the fast CGI modules can send the information in the process std error strings to the failed request tracing (FREB) logs maintained by IIS for debugging purposes, as long as failed request tracing is enabled. IIS 7.5 can use the managed service accounts as service identifiers, thus eliminating problems caused by inspired application pool passwords. The application pool identity is a concept first introduced in IIS 7.0, which IIS uses to set permissions for an application pool's configuration file. You can also use it for anonymous authentications in place of IUSR accounts. In IIS 7.5, the application pool identity is a managed service account, and IIS now uses to run the w3wp.exe workers process in place of the network service account introduced in Windows Server 2003. The biggest improvement in IIS 7.5 is in the area of management that includes a number of IIS configuration tools that were previously available only as separate downloads. And Microsoft has enhanced many of the existing tools. And Microsoft is emphasizing Windows PowerShell as an important tool for managing IIS 7.5. The IIS PowerShell snapping provides dozens of the new commandlets and enables administrators to manage IIS properties in several different ways. The IIS Administration Pack is a downloadable collection of extensions for IIS 7.0. Most of the contents of Administration Pack are included in the IIS 7.5 implementations. For example, the ASP.NET and fast CGI configuration capabilities were originally part of the Administration Pack and are now incorporated into the default user interface of the Internet Information Services Manager Console. The IP and domain restrictions role service enables you to create rules that specify which computer should be permitted or not permitted to access your IIS websites. In IIS 7.5, this role service now supports Internet Protocol version 6, IPv6, addresses, as evident by the changes in the add allow restriction rules and add deny restriction rules dialog boxes, as shown in figure. In Windows Server, configuration tracing is disabled by default. To enable it, you must open the Event Viewer console, browse in the Applications and Services log node to the Microsoft Windows IIS configuration folders, and enable the operational logs as shown in figures. And Microsoft has integrated its best practice analyzers, BPA, technology into several roles, including the web server roles. In the Server Manager console, the web server node contains a best practice analyzer section. As shown in figure, clicking Scan this role initiates the process by which the analyzer gathers information about IIS and compares it with a set of predefined rules. IIS conditions that differ substantially from the rules are listed in the analyzers as non-compliant results. The Performance Monitor consoles includes two new performance objects that enable you to monitor IIS activities. First, the APP Pools was. Performance object includes counters that measures various aspects of application pools and worker process performance for each individual pools on the server. And second, the Microsoft FTP Service Performance Object contains counters that track the amount of data sent and received by each FTP site on the server and monitor the number and type of the FTP connections. To set up your IIS, go to Start, All Programs, Administrative Tools, select Server Manager. In Server Manager, right-click Roles to add a new role. Follow the instructions to add an IIS server. Click Next. Select Web Server. add required features. And click Next. And click Next again. And select the features you want for these installations. So you can select ASP.NET. You can select Windows Authentications. Management service. Once you are done, click Next to the confirmation step. Review the configurations for your installations. If there is no problem, click Install to start the installations. Once the installation is complete, it will show the results in the window. You also can go to the Server Manager to check the installation events. And we are about done. Go to Network Setting to set up your IP address. Select Properties, TCP/IP Settings. It is better to set up your IP address as a static IP. Subnet mask, default gateway. DNS server. Once you are done, the IIS is ready to go. Open your internet browser. Type in the IP address, and you will see the default page of your IIS. To create your first website, you need to create a web page. Several ways to edit your web page. Here we use a notepad to edit your web page. Just open a notepad and use HTML language to compose your web page. So this is the title of your web page. The header. Some contents. And HTML is a markup language. And you can see the content is wrapped by different tags. The title tag, header tag, some parameters. Once you are done, save the file as index.html. Then go to directory of your IIS under www.root root. Copy the web page you just created to that folder. And go to Administrative Tools and select IIS Manager. In the Sites node, select Default Website. Click on the default document, and you can add different startup web page for your website. Here we add another one, homepage.html. And click yes. And to access your web page, open the browser, type in your IP address. The web page you just added will show up correctly.